Hello all, welcome to MSc Microbiology course CCTP 7 Immunology. Today we are going to discuss about the topic toll-like receptor from the unit cell surface molecules and receptor. Toll-like receptors are also known as the pattern recognition receptors, and these are the receptors of innate immune system which facilitate the removal of group from the microorganism which is having a similar structure. Now, we can also say that toll-like receptors are the first line of defenses of innate immunity, and they have an ability to discriminate between the self and foreign pathogen. So this discrimination between the self and the foreign pathogen, it will depend on the toll-like receptor which is present on their surfaces. Now these toll-like receptors they are first discovered in the Drosophila melanogaster, where they will act as a receptor and they are essential for the establishment of dorsoventral polarity during the embryogenesis. And in addition to this toll-like receptor will serve as component of innate immunity in adult flies. These toll-like receptors are mainly present on the macrophages and the dendritic cells. They have a tendency to recognize different molecular patterns which are associated with the microorganisms. If we see the structure of this toll-like receptor, these are the single membrane spanning proteins, and such a 10 toll-like receptors will be present in the mammalian species, and their main function is they will serve as the receptors of innate immune system. Now, although different number of TLR are present, but they will differ from one another in their expression pattern. In addition to they serve as the receptors of innate immune system. These toll-like receptors they play important role in development of adaptive immune responses. Let's see the structure of this toll-like receptor. The families of this toll-like receptor they are having closely related proteins. Now, in this case also, they have extracellular domain and the cytosolic domain. So, extracellular domain of this toll-like receptor will consist of leucine-rich repeat domain, while cytosolic domain or the cytoplasmic domain it is involved in the signal transduction of different effector genes. Now, these toll-like receptors, they are type 1 transmembrane protein, that is, they are having extracellular domain, transmembrane region, and the cytosolic domain. So, if we see the structure of this extracellular domain, it mainly consists of amino terminal. So, amino terminal domain, it is composed of repeated motifs which are rich in the leucine amino residue, and as they are rich in the leucine residue, they can also known as the leucine-rich repeats. The second structure of this TLR, that is the transmembrane region, it span the plasma membrane for a single time, and the third one is the cytosolic domain. Cytosolic domain is also known as the toll or the interleukin first receptor domain. So these three regions of the domain they are highly conserved among all family members, and they will be called as boxes 1, 2, or 3. They serve as a binding site for different intracellular proteins which participate in signaling pathway. So this cytoplasmic receptor, they have an ability to recognize different components of bacteria, viruses and the fungi. In addition to that, TLR or toll-like receptor, they recognize major molecular signature of pathogens. It mainly includes peptidoglycan, lipoic acid, lipopolysaccharide, glucans, and in yeast, it is able to recognize a signature molecule that is the zymosan. So if you see the structure of this toll-like receptor, you can see it on the extracellular domain. It mainly consists of leucine-rich repeats, while a single transmembrane helix is there which passes this toll-like receptor through the plasma membrane, and the cytosolic domain, it mainly consists of a region where mainly interaction of the signaling molecule will take place, and it is highly conserved, and therefore it will be labeled as box 1, box 2 and box 3. Localization. So different TLR families molecule, they are mainly expressed on cell surface or they are mainly present within the intracellular vesicles like the endoplasmic reticulum, endosomes, lysosomes, etc. So this toll-like receptor which are present on the cell surface, they recognize specific components of bacterial components which are present on the membrane of microorganism, while those which are present within the intracellular vesicle, they recognize the nucleic acid. Toll-like receptors are present on cell surface as well as they are also present within the intracellular vesicle. So those who are present on cell surface, they recognize components of microbial membrane, while those expressed within the intracellular vesicle, they can recognize foreign nucleic acids. For example, protein PRAT4A, it regulates the exit of TLR1, 2, 4, 7, 9 from endoplasmic reticulum to respective places. GP96, it is a ER resident heat shock protein which belongs to 90 family and that will act as a chaperone for most of the toll-like receptors. So localization of this toll-like receptor, as we have discussed, some of the toll-like receptors are present on the cell membrane while some are located within the intracellular vesicles. So those who are present on the cell membrane like the TLR1, 2, 2 and 6, 4, 5, all these toll-like receptor, they recognize different components which are present on the cell membrane of the microorganism, while the toll-like receptors which are present within the intracellular component, they mainly recognize the nucleic acid. Such a kind of the components are the TLRs 3, 7, 8 and the 9. So let's see the functioning or the recognition of different components by this toll-like receptor. If we see toll-like receptor 1 and 2, they are mainly present on the cell surface and they are involved in the recognition of bacterial parasites. While toll-like receptors 2 and 6, they are mainly involved in the recognition of different components of gram-positive bacteria and fungi. If we see the function of this toll-like receptor 4, they recognize different components of gram-negative bacteria, while 5, they are involved in recognition of flagellated bacteria. Now all these are the cell surface toll-like receptor and therefore they will recognize different signature molecules which are present on the cell surface, while some of the toll-like receptors are present within the intracellular component. For example, TLR3, it mainly recognizes the viral double-stranded RNA. If TLR7 is present, it will recognizes viral single-stranded RNA. If we see the TLR8, it is also intracellular toll-like receptor and it has the potential to recognize viral single-stranded RNA. TLR9, it is involved in recognition of bacterial DNA elements. So, heterodimers, toll-like receptors like 2 and 6, they recognize diacyl lipopeptides from the mycoplasma, while heterodimer toll-like receptor 2 and 1, they recognize triacyl lipopeptides from the gram-negative bacteria. While toll-like receptor 2 and dectin-1, they recognize beta-glucan, which is a component of fungal cell wall. So this PAMPAs, that is the pathogen-associated molecular patterns, which are mainly recognized by different toll-like receptors. It includes different families of toll-like receptors like toll-like receptor 1, 2 and 6. These three toll-like receptors, they are structurally related. If we see the toll-like receptor 2, it has a potential to recognize lipoproteins from various pathogens, peptidoglycans and the teichoic acid, which are mainly a component of gram-positive bacteria, lipoarabinomannan, which is component of Mycobacterium, glycophosphatidylinositol, which is a component of Trypanosoma cruzi, zymosan, which is a component of fungi, and glycolipids, which is mainly present on the treponema. So toll-like receptor 3, it mainly recognizes the genomic RNA from different standard RNA viruses, different standard RNA from the influenza virus or the West Nile virus, and different standard DNA from the herpes simplex virus. Toll-like receptor 4, it will recognize different lipopolysaccharide. These lipopolysaccharides, they bind to the soluble liposaccharide binding protein and then they are transferred to CD14. So that will help in activation of toll-like receptor 4. The toll, in addition to that, they also recognize endogenous ligands like the heat shock protein extra domain of fibronectin, heparan sulfate and the fibrinogen. In addition to that, they are also involved in they will enhance the activity of toll-like receptor 4 when they are dimerized with the toll-like receptor 1. Toll-like receptor 5, they can recognize flagellin and they are mainly expressed on the mucosal surface of intestinal epithelial cells and epithelial cells of lungs. Toll-like receptors 7 and 8, they are involved in recognition of antiviral compound imidazoquinoline and they are mainly active in humans but they are not active in the mouse and they will recognize nucleoside guanosine or the uridine rich single-stranded RNA from the viruses like HIV and the influenza virus. Now this toll-like receptor 9, they will serve as a receptor for the CpG nucleotide DNA and bacterial DNA which has unmethylated CpG motifs. Toll-like receptor 11, it is mainly active in the mouse and they are expressed in the urinary bladder epithelial cells and they will recognize the uropathogenic bacteria. Let's see how the signaling will take place in toll-like receptor. So signaling pathways in toll-like receptors, they are divided into two distinct categories. First one is MYD88 dependent pathway and second one is TRIF dependent pathway. We will discuss each of these pathway in detail. So first we will discuss about the MYD88 dependent pathway. MYD88 dependent it will response will occur when dimerization of these toll-like receptors will take place. So they are utilized by every toll-like receptors. except toll-like receptor 3. So primary effect in MYD88 dependent pathway is the activation of NF-kappa B and mitogen activated protein kinase. When the ligand will bind, the conformational changes will take place which occur in the receptor, and it will result in the recruitment of this adapter protein MYD88, which are a member of this toll-like receptor family. Now this MYD88, then it will recruit IRK, IRAK4 1 and 2 proteins. Now what is the function of this IRAK? They are kinases and they are involved in the phosphorylation and the activation of the protein TRAF6. This TRAF6 which carry out the activation of the protein TAC1, and it also this TAC1 will provide the binding site for the IKK beta. So once this phosphorylation of I kappa B is carried out, it causes degradation and it allows the NFK beta to diffuse into the nucleus of the cell, and it will activate transcription, and it will able to produce or induce in production of inflammatory cytokines. So let's see the mechanism of these pathway. So these are the toll-like receptor which are present on the extracellular cell surface. It span the plasma membrane, and on the cytosolic side, the cytosolic domain will be present as its sequence will be conserved, and that will be conserved in the form of boxes 1, 2 and 3. We have already discussed the structure of these receptors. So the first step is the binding of the ligand. So when the ligand will bind to this toll-like receptor, it results in the association of this MYD88. Now here you can see this MYD88, it is now associated with the TIR domain, and once it is associated, it will result in the formation of dimer of this IRAK1 and the IRAK4. Okay. Now once these two are associated, then this IRAK4, it will carry out the phosphorylation of this IRK1, so that once this IRAK1 it get phosphorylated, it provide a binding site for this TRAF6. So the IRAK1 and the TRAF5F6, now this complex, this will be dissociated, and it will result in the activation of this TAC1. Okay, so this TAC1 will receive the phosphate group, and it will get converted into the activated form. So once it gets converted into the activated form, this active TAC1, it will activate two distinct signal transduction pathway. So this TAC1, it phosphorylate the IKK. It will involve in the phosphorylation of IKK, so to activate the NF-kappa B pathway. So this IKK, when it phosphorylates this I-kappa B, it causes the release of this NF-kappa B within the nucleus, and it the free NFKB translocate from the cytoplasm to the nucleus, and it will serve as the activator transcriptional for the NF-kappa B dependent gene. So here you can see the transcription of the genes will take place. Now the second way of this signal transduction pathway is that once this STAC1 is getting activated, it is involved in the activation of MAP kinase. So this MAP kinase, it is get phosphorylated, get activated, and now it moves from the cytoplasm to the nucleus, where it activates the transcription of MAPK-dependent genes. Individual toll-like receptors they induce different signaling responses by using different adapter molecules. So if we see the toll-like receptor 3, it triggers the production of interferon beta, which was responded to double-stranded RNA, while in MYD88 independent manner, it will act to the adapter TICAM1. Now it is another adapter which is involved in the MYD88 independent pathway. So drift dependent or MYD88 independent pathway. Both families of TLR3 and 4 they utilize this drift-dependent pathway, which is mainly triggered by double-stranded RNA and lipopolysaccharide, and it results in activation of receptor of adapter TREEF. It results in induction or suppression of genes which are responsible for the generation of inflammatory responses. So, in this case, thousands of genes are activated by this toll-like receptor signaling, and it results in the generation of pleiotropic effect by gene modulation. Now let's discuss about the different functions of this toll-like receptor. So this toll-like receptor, they, as we have discussed, they are the component of or the receptors of innate immune system because they are germline encoded molecules of the innate immune system, and they are not able to recognize only the presence of signal to the pathogen, but they are responsible for the expression of different stimulatory molecules and the effector cytokines. Now they prepare the cell for its involvement in the development of an adaptive immune response. They signal via toll-like receptors of phagocytic cell, so they induces the phagocytosis by producing secondary effect of cytokines. They are also expressed by the epithelial cells which line the respiratory GIT, where they are mainly important in triggering secretion of antimicrobial peptides, and they recognize self-ligand which are responsible for the clearing of damaged or dead cells and their products. Now these are the different types of toll-like receptors. The localization and ligand which serve as the or which are required for the activation of this different toll-like receptor, and the origin of ligand or the organism on which these molecular signatures will present. These are the references. Thank you.